Okay, here's a trial version of something we're going to test out in the library. We're going to do some picking along the library shelves, which means we're just going to walk around the shelves and find some titles that have either kind of gotten lost on the wayside or haven't gotten as much press as the bigger name books, but they are nonetheless really great stories and have gotten really good reviews. So let's move along the shelves here, look for something interesting. This is in our drama and comedy section. And here's a title that has gotten a lot of really good reviews, Riding Invisible by Sandra Alonso. It's a story about a kid who has an abusive older brother with a mental illness, and he ends up running away with his horse to avoid the violence. He goes into the desert by himself and makes some friends. It's pretty much a coming-of-age story, and the text is made to look like it's actually his journal. There's also some illustrations, as you can see there, maybe. But it is not really a graphic novel. The illustrations just complement the story. That's a great choice. Let's move along a little bit in the drama and comedy section and see what we can find. All right, as we come around the corner here, let's see if we can find something else. Here's another one that got a lot of really good reviews, Project Sweet Life by Brent Hardinger. It's about a group of 15-year-old guys, really good friends, that tell everybody they're getting a job over the summer but decide they're not really going to get jobs. They're just going to mess around the whole time. The only problem comes when one of the fathers wants proof that they're making money, and they have to make up a few stories in order to avoid problems with their parents. Another good choice. Let's move along here and see what else we can find. All right, so just to the right of the main entrance, we have this display area where sometimes we have art, sometimes we have books. In this case, in September, it's a Spirit Week display with some Mary Institute and some Country Day athletic type stuff. Also has a display of our sports-themed books in the library. So let's look around and see if there's anything interesting up here. Field hockey. This is a book from the 1960s. From one of the previous Mary Institute libraries. We've got a lot of really old books in the library. And this one's up here as kind of a joke, but some of these are interesting to look through if you ever want to look and see how the sport used to be done. So if you're into sports-themed books, this is a great shelf to look at in September. As we move along here, let's see where else we can go and find something on the shelf that's maybe been forgotten. So now we're in our action and suspense section. This is probably my favorite section. It's a great place to look if you're looking for adventure or horror or mystery or suspense, action, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of good books in here. One book in particular that didn't get a lot of press because it was published mainly in the UK is Maria Mundi, The Midas Box by G.P. Taylor. I picked this up in a bookstore on Long Island a few years ago, pretty much just for the cover. Looked creepy to me, and I like that kind of stuff. And this is about, as you can see in the picture, this enormous, creepy hotel, the biggest of its kind in the world, that's built into the side of a cliff along the ocean somewhere in England. And this kid gets a job as a magician's apprentice in a show there, and from there it's kind of a mystery and adventure and a lot of secret rooms and tunnels and stuff like that. So pick that one up if you get a chance. Let's move along, find something else maybe. All right, so let's move over to our grab and go section. And if you're unfamiliar with the grab and go section, this is just a bunch of paperbacks that you don't have to check out. It's literally meant for you to grab one and go, and we just trust that you'll bring it back when you're done. There's a lot of really good stuff in this section, and one in particular that has gotten really good reviews. It's a series of mysteries with one girl who's a kind of a detective main character. I'm not really going to explain this to you because there's a pretty cool trailer on our YouTube channel that you can take a look at, and we'll watch just a little bit of it real quick.
It was as black in the closet as old blood. They had shoved me in and locked the door. If they had been bright enough to think of tying my thumbs together, I should never have escaped. What utter morons they were. I skipped down the broad stone staircase into the hall, pausing at the door of the dining room just long enough to toss my pigtails back over my shoulders and into their regulation position. Father still insisted on dinner being served as the clock struck the hour and eaten at the massive oak refectory table, just as it had been when Mother was alive.
So there's another great one from our grab and go shelf, and you can also find hard to cover copies of that at our action and suspense area, as well as copies of other titles in that series with that same character. So there's a look at our first version of picking in the library. We're going to try to do one of these each week and improve on it. So come back for more next week.